there's a golf war going on right now. At some point, the war is going to be over, and one or both or none will be standing at the end of this. Where do you guys see golf 2025 after this war ends?
Live is going to stay around.
Uh,
They have the money to keep this afloat no matter what happens, and they have no problem losing money to keep this going. I think the PGA Tour is going to, as stupid as what Wyndham Clark said yesterday.
Wyndham Clark said we need to have fewer people get PGA cards. We need to have fewer people in the tournaments, and we need to have fewer people get cut because people want to see the best players in the world play. Sounds like a league that already exists, but
What it's going to do if they do that is they're going to force those guys, the top 100 guys, to play every single tournament when they don't want to play every single tournament. You're gonna piss off the Rorys. You're going to piss off at some point. Scheffler's going to be like, I don't want to play every week. There's going to be guys that aren't going to want to play every week. I think if they go to like a main tour where it's just 100 guys, it's going to hurt all the guys that. I mean, look at half the guys that won on the tour already this year. They're not even in the top 100 in the world golf rankings. So I think that's where it's going to hurt the game of golf as a whole, not just Live versus PGA altogether. It's going to hurt the game of golf as a whole.
There will no longer be a world golf rank, or there will be a new system that is different, obviously, than the way they do it now.
Phil Mickelson has been saying since the day he left the PGA Tour that the official world golf rankings are literally in bed with the PGA Tour to ensure that they get their TV contract money. So PGA Tour events sponsorships are based on how many of the top X number of players in the official world golf rankings are in that event.
These contracts were made probably years ago, right? That's safe to say.
Yeah, I'm saying within the last 10 years, for sure.
And live golf wasn't a thing. Was there anywhere else a professional golfer would play than play in these tournaments? I don't understand. Why would you write a contract saying, hey, we get money based on how many highly ranked people play? There's nowhere else for these people to play.
PGA Tour fans have buried their head in the sand, maybe the Saudi Arabian sand. I have no idea. But they buried their head in the sand and just thought everything was going to be okay. Their tour has always been standing on top of every other golf league in the world, and nothing could ever go wrong.
Does everybody see how that doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever?
You know why it doesn't make any sense? Is because the same exact people who are on the board for the official world golf rankings are the same exact people who are on the board for the PGA of America, the PGA of Latin America, the PGA of the DP World Tour, the guys who make the golfing rules. Those are all. It's literally the same people. It's not even. They don't even try to hide that they are just fluffing each other's nuts with these rankings to up the amount of money that they get from these sponsors. PGA Tour thinks that everything's fine, but there's a war going on. They're losing it miserably. We know that the PGA is a very America-centric golf organization. They always have been from day one. They were the PGA of America, and then the players said, "F off. We are independent contractors. We're going to form our own league." And they tried to do this back in 1968, and the PGA had all the money and all the TV rights and won that war in like 5 seconds. It was over. They couldn't. They bought up all the TV time, and there was no way that this other tour was going to get up off the ground. They thought that would never come to roost again, that the players would never figure out that they are the sport. The PGA is not the sport. It's not. We all play golf, and none of us are PGA professionals. It almost seems inevitable at this point. Like the everything has swung so far to the live side, and every time the PGA thinks they've got like any kind of foothold somewhere on something, they lose it immediately. Like this year was, we know Joaquin Niemann is top 10 golfer in the world, top 5 golfer in the world probably. We're gonna keep him out with our rankings. We're gonna keep him out, and the majors are like, no, you're not. No, you're not, dude. We need to have these guys in our tournaments. So the majors who have bowed to the PGA Tour forever are not doing that already. It's going to be easy to dissolve those rankings when they decide, when, let's say, Rahm's exemptions are up or DJ's exemptions are up or whatever, like the main players. It's going to be easy to get rid of those rankings. And I just think it's going to be just as easy to get rid of the PGA Tour when all of those players just come and get equity in a team and live and move on. I just see the end of the war being literally the end of the PGA.